You save money by spending on deals. Looks harmless until it changes how risk feels. What decision is it training you to make? You save money by spending on deals is only the surface. What changes before the decision starts to feel inevitable? Yet the moment you press buy, the story in your head is not that you spent $99. It is that you saved $101. That is the strange alchemy of a deal. It can make a new expense feel like financial discipline. The price fell, so the decision feels like a win. But your bank balance does not record the list price you avoided. It records the money that left. This is not an argument against every sale. A lower price on something you had already decided to buy can be useful. The question is sharper. If the purchase exists only because the sale appeared, what exactly did the discount save? Today we will pull apart that sentence because it is one of the easiest ways a budget loses its own language. The first trick is the reference price. When a store shows $200 crossed out beside $99, your mind is invited to compare $99 with $200. The comparison feels natural because it is placed directly in front of you. But the budget question is different. It compares $99 with $0, with the grocery money, with the credit card balance, or with the goal you named before you opened the app. Those are not the same comparisons. The FTC warns consumers that a sale percentage can be based on a manufacturer's suggested retail price, or another reference that may be higher than what a store typically charged. That does not mean every advertised reduction is false. It means the red number is not a complete answer. A percentage off tells you how a seller frames a price. It cannot tell you whether the item belongs in your life or whether you could buy it elsewhere for less. Then comes the emotional reward. A full-price purchase can feel indulgent. The same object under a countdown timer can feel savvy, fast, even a little heroic. You beat the system. You got in before it disappeared. That feeling matters because it arrives before the practical questions. Will you use it? Do you already own a substitute? What will happen when it arrives? The problem is not that people are foolish. Stores are designed to make the answer feel immediate. A bright percentage, a shrinking inventory message, a cart that remembers what you viewed, and a clock that turns, waiting into loss. Consumer guidance from the CFPB teaches people to look past a sales price, compare offers, and notice conditions that sit in small text. That is not a joyless way to shop. It is a way to give the decision enough time to become yours instead of the timer's. This is why the phrase, "I saved money," needs a grammar check. There are only two versions. Version 1. I plan to buy this exact item. I checked the total cost. I would have paid more later, and I paid less now. That is a saving on a planned expense. Version 2. I saw a deal, added a new thing to my life, and used the list price to make the new charge feel smaller. That is spending with a discount. The difference is not moral. It is arithmetic and timing. One reduces a future cost you had already accepted. The other creates a present cost that would otherwise be zero. The same pair of shoes can belong to either category, depending on the plan that existed before the promotion. A sale cannot make that decision for you. Only a plan that predates the sale can do that. The next trap is the incomplete total. A deal can be real at the product level and still be expensive at the order level. Shipping, taxes, accessories, a warranty, a subscription, a return fee, or the extra item added to qualify for free delivery can quietly change the math. The FTC's online shopping guidance tells buyers to compare the total cost, including shipping, handling, delivery, taxes, and other fees, and to read the terms of a deal. That sounds basic, because it is basic. But the seller's interface often keeps each piece in a different place. The price near the photo, the offer condition in a badge, the fee at checkout, the return policy behind a link. Your rule is simple. Do not calculate your win from the sticker. Calculate it from the amount that will actually leave your account, and from what happens if the purchase is wrong. A deal can also turn into a more expensive commitment when the advertised number is not the whole offer. This is obvious in large purchases, where low monthly payments, rebates, or zero-interest language may come with eligibility rules, fees, financing terms, or a longer commitment. The FTC advises shoppers to confirm the out-the-door price and offer details in writing when evaluating car promotions. The lesson travels well beyond cars. When a deal is complicated, do not let the headline carry the whole decision. Ask, what must be true for me to receive this price? What fees appear later? What commitment is attached? And what would I pay if I simply chose the option that fits my life without the promotion? Complexity is not proof of a bad deal. It is a signal to slow down until you can state the full cost in one plain sentence. So what does a practical pause look like when the sale is live and you genuinely might want the thing? Start with the replacement question. Was this already on a list because something you own is worn out, unavailable, or about to cost you more? Next, ask the cash question. If the sale vanished, would this purchase still fit this month's spending plan without borrowing from a bill, a debt payoff, or a savings target? Then ask the use question. Can you name the first 3 times you will use it, not just imagine the person you might become with it? These questions do not demand perfection. They put the purchase back into the context that a promotion tries to remove. A real deal can survive a pause. If it cannot, the timer was doing more work than the product. Now add a 4th question. Compared with what? Do not compare the sale price only with the crossed-out number. Compare it with the price history you can check, the same model elsewhere, the used or refurbished option, or the choice to wait. The FTC recommends comparison shopping by noting the model and relevant details, then checking reliable sources and the full terms. That habit breaks a quiet illusion that the store presenting the deal is also the referee of the deal. It is not. You do not need to search for an hour. Even a 2-minute comparison can change the story from "this ends tonight" to "this is a normal market price," or "this is genuinely lower than the alternatives." Purpose is not to win every transaction. It is to make the reference point yours. There is a useful exception worth protecting: planned buying windows. If you know that you replace household essentials at a certain cadence, travel at a certain time, or need a particular item for work, you can decide your acceptable price before the market starts shouting. Write the item, the maximum total you will pay, the acceptable alternatives, and the point at which you walk away. Then a sale becomes information, not an instruction. This is where discounts can help a budget instead of hijacking it. The plan arrives first, the promotion arrives second. Notice what disappears in that order. The need to invent a reason after checkout. You are no longer calling an impulse a saving. You are executing a decision you made while calm. That is the difference between a deal that supports your system and a deal that rents your attention. So the next time a bright red percentage makes your pulse jump, try the honest sentence. Not, "I saved $100. Say, "I am considering spending $99 because the seller says it used to cost $200. Then run the 4 questions. Was it planned? Does the total fit? Will I use it? And compared with what? If the answers are strong, you may have found a genuine bargain. Buy it without guilt and record the lower cost as a win against a real plan. If the answers are weak, closing the tab is not missing out. It is keeping your money available for the things you already decided matter. A deal is not a personality test. It is a price and a set of terms. Your financial power begins when the red banner stops writing the story for you. If this changed how you see money, subscribe for more wealth psychology stories.